Hey, what's up?
Cool.
Welcome to FreesTYLERs. Today I'm speaking with Sarah Maddack.
I love FreesTYLERs. That's so great. What a great idea.
Sarah's most likely known for her rap videos on TikTok. She first launched her account back in January 2020, and one of her most popular videos is her laying on the floor while rapping about a slug. Almost said snail.
I rapped about pardon me. I've rapped about a snail as well, but the most famous one is the slug, yeah.
Isn't your most popular one, like right now, the hippopotamus one?
Yes, the hippopotamus one blew up the most, but the slug one is the one that made everything take off. So that was the first one.
I have a couple of questions to ask you if you're cool with that.
Yes.
So the first question that I have is, how did you first know that you wanted to start making music?
Okay, so I've been a singer-songwriter for probably 6 or 7 years. I say probably, there's a definitive time it started, so I should probably just like look that up in my life history. But I've always been musical. I was in choir in church growing up. My mom played piano and sang, and we would sing together. But I started writing songs my senior year of high school, and the first two songs I ever wrote were silly songs. And then I kind of went into more serious songs, like pop songs. You can find them on Spotify, a few of
Yeah.
them. And at this point, I've written hundreds of songs, but as an artist, I know I'm a silly songwriter, a silly artist. But yeah, that's how it started, was just I taught myself guitar when I was 15 because my boyfriend at the time was really into guitars and I wanted something in common with him. I wanted to have something in common with him. So anyway,
That's cool.
yeah.
What's your favorite song that you've written so far?
Great question. Okay, currently, because it changes,
Yeah.
It's actually one that's not out yet, but I just posted it to my Instagram on my IGTV that I just performed actually in Nashville, and it's called Don't Wanna Party. And it is basically about how whenever I go out, how adults go out and party and stuff.
Yeah.
I personally don't really drink. No judgment on people who do. I know it's like just a super normal thing to do, but I don't really drink or do drugs or anything. But I have the most fun ever, and people usually ask me if I'm inebriated because I'm just like going that crazy because I'm like when I dance, it's like an aerobics. It's like aerobics with interpretive dancing incorporated into it. So anyway, yeah, that's my favorite song right now. It's called Don't Wanna Party, and it will be on Spotify this year, at least. I'm committing to that.
Nice.
So
How did you like transition from pop music and stuff into making rap?
So it's honestly the slug thing. Like I was purely a pop singer songwriter. That's where all those songs are from, is pre-April 2020. And then April 2020, posted that rap video and people responded so well. And I realized I think I'm a good singer. Don't think I'm going to discredit myself there. I've worked very hard on singing well. But I really think I'm a better rapper. I'm randomly such a good rapper. So that just turned into me making all these 30-second songs. And then there's a couple on Spotify, and this is what I plan to put more effort into this year. But there's a couple on Spotify that I elongated into a full song. And yeah, so that's how.
A couple of days ago, I was like listening to some of your music on Spotify, and I was wondering what like your inspiration was for songs like Life is Short and 5 Seconds of Courage, just because I feel like those songs in particular like have a deeper meaning to them.
Thank you, Tyler. That's such a good question. People seriously don't say that enough. I could tell you, I mean, Life is Short specifically was inspired by my grandpa, who was getting sick at the time and is now passed away. Like I knew he was, gonna pass away soon. And it's okay. He was, well, he was old and sick, and people, that just is what happens. It would be very alarming if people lived forever. They're not supposed to live forever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's what that song was inspired by. And yeah, just the reminder of, and it's pretty cliche, but it's just important, like enjoying the time we have here and not letting worry and fear take up so much of our time because it's limited. Yeah. And then 5 Seconds of Courage was actually inspired by a couple things. So one was personal life experience. I feel like I should show my hands in here. And one was Mel Robbins' TED Talk about 5 Seconds of Courage. So basically, I did an internship that changed my life forever, where I sold educational books door to door for 5 summers. Worked at this company for 5 years, and it was the hardest job ever, but so, so, so rewarding. It's called Southwestern Advantage. Um, because yeah, like door to door sales, you don't really think of that being as a super desirable or easy job, and it's not. But it was really rewarding, and it was really scary to go up to people's houses, not for safety reasons, because you find out that people are just like good at heart, and that was no big deal,
Yeah.
but just for the emotional rejection of people shutting a door in your face or just not being interested, and you just have to keep going, you know? So they would teach us, Mel Robbins in her TED Talk, as well as in the program, to count down from 5 if you're about to do something you don't feel like doing, even if it's getting out of bed in the morning. Like when you first gain consciousness and you're just laying there and you don't want to get out of bed, they say count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, boom, and you just like sprint out of bed just to propel yourself into action. And how when you have the thought, I'm kind of rambling here, but when you have the thought of doing something that scares you, they say you pretty much have 5 seconds before you talk yourself out of it. And so just like 5 seconds is all it takes to go take action on something.
That's cool. Wow. You said that you sold books door to door.
Yeah.
Didn't you like write a bunch of songs about that too? Like I've heard of like at least like I don't know 5 songs about it.
There were
Maybe
4 total.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, well, even the 5 Seconds of Courage one is inspired by it, but the ones that are specifically about it, yes. And actually, that's how I got my start falling in love with silly songs and video together. Was the company would have a music video contest every year where we could submit like what we call a book video, because it's about selling books, and I would make original songs all about the experience. So yeah, there's a whole album called Bookfield Bops. That's all about
That's
that.
cool.
So yeah.
Wait, so I know one of the songs you were like you saw some sweaty college student. Is that supposed to be you?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Nice.
Because yeah, I was in college when I did it. So
What would your advice be to someone who's like trying to get into music and stuff?
just take action even when you don't feel like it.
Mm.
Like the biggest thing that I fall prey to and that every musician does is that they feel like they're not ready, or they feel like they need to perfectly hone their skills before posting something, you know. But just get on social media, even if it's, pardon me, uncomfortable, and just create a bunch of stuff, even if you don't think it's that good, or if it's not your best, or if it's not totally done yet, just putting it up. I mean, this is totally not even my own advice. It's Gary Vee, if you know who Gary Vee is.
Yeah.
Talks about, if you want to write a great song, go write 15 crappy songs first. You know, like you can't just be stuck in your head. How do I make this perfect? You know, you gotta just churn out content, and then you'll find something worth keeping. So, yeah.
I think that's all of the questions I have on here, at least.
Those are great questions. I didn't know you listened to that much of my music. That makes me feel so special. Am I allowed to ask you questions?
Sure.
Okay. What made you want to get into podcasting? You're just like a creative person. Like I can tell, like this is your gift. What made you want to get into podcasting?
A couple years ago, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, for school, we had to do it. So that was one of our assignments. We had to make a podcast with like 3 episodes at least. And so I started researching to see like how to make like a good podcast, because I didn't want something that I just threw together. I wanted it to actually be like interesting, especially since we were going to like share this with everyone in our class. When I filmed it, it was just fun to like get to talk to other people and like other people around the world and just stuff like that. So then I just decided to start doing it.
That's awesome. I hope you keep doing it. Thanks for
You
interviewing
too.
me.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye.